Hi, good morning. It's Joel Mark Witt for folkmedia.org. Folk Media is a new media production studio helping businesses and nonprofits market on the social web. One of the big questions people ask when they're starting out on Twitter, or even before they get started on Twitter, is what am I going to write about? What do I have to say that's interesting? How am I going to be able to put content out on Twitter and make it interesting and people are going to want to follow that and listen to it? Well, this is our Twitter leadership series. We're talking about how to build leadership on Twitter for your business, your nonprofit, your professional life. And I want to talk about specifically today what to write about on Twitter, because it's a big question on a lot of people's minds. You really need to think before you tweet. It is critical that you think. A lot of people, when they don't think about what they're tweeting, end up talking about what they had for breakfast, or they talk about, oh, I had this or that happen. And a lot of times, Twitter can become a glorified complaint desk for people, a place where they just vent the frustrations of life. And really, that's kind of a base use of the service. You don't want to begin turning it into just a complaint desk or a what I had for breakfast type place. You want to tweet things that are valuable and important. And really, I use the analogy of a movie script, writing a movie script. Anytime you're writing a narrative of any kind, whether it's a novel or a movie, when you write a scene, the rule is that you do one of two things. You either, number one, develop a character, or number two, further a plot. That's the only two things you should be doing in a scene. Otherwise, the scene doesn't exist. That's why a lot of scenes in movies get cut in the editing room, because they don't develop the characters and they don't further the plot. Well, you can think of your character as yourself or your business, the character that you're building, the brand you're building. I really encourage you to think of it as your person, and you can think of the plot as your business products, services, the things you do in your business. So that's what I'd like to encourage you to think about and how to think about them. The real key is to think about adding value. Anytime you're tweeting or you're posting to Twitter, it's called tweeting, think about how to add value. You can post things that are helpful, articles, links, thoughtful. Recognizing someone's birthday, for example, would be something thoughtful. Something engaging, something that, is really just, wow, this is really cool. Maybe a photograph you see of a crazy bumper sticker, something engaging. Or entertaining, same lines, something that's funny or cute or entertaining in and of itself. So adding value to your followers is really what you need to begin thinking about. Those are the kind of things you want to tweet and make sure you're putting out on Twitter. Think about when you're posting to Twitter, you need to begin thinking about keywords and think about length. Obviously, you have 140 characters to work with. So if you're adding a link, you have to think about the space that link will take up. There's services that can shorten links, but you still are going to be using up some space for that. If you're using hashtags or other things, you're going to be thinking about, you need to begin thinking about the length of your message, but also begin thinking about keywords, things that people are going to be searching for. So if you have a business, a particular business, let's say you're a locksmith, you may want to use the word key, for example, in your keyword search. Think about things. There's a picture here, Sharpie, obviously pen, marker, Sharpie, the color purple. These are keywords that could go along with Sharpie's message, for example, if you're talking about a Sharpie pen. So begin thinking about keywords on Twitter, whatever they are related to your business, your nonprofit, or your professional life. Begin thinking through those. Really, when it comes down to it, I want to give you an action step, something you can take away after watching this presentation and go and do right away. There's 3 questions I want you to ask yourself before you write a tweet. Here's the 3 questions. Number 1, where would I like to direct other people's attention in this message? So is there an interesting link? Is there an interesting blog, a news article, something I've written? Think about this. Where would I like to direct other people's attention? Number 2, what can I say that will add value to others? Is there a tip you can give, some advice, a quote, a nugget of truth, something like this? And number 3 question is, who are 2 or more people I can help connect to each other? So are there people I know in my follower base or people I'm following that I can connect with other people that I'm following or in my follower base? And I can connect them using Twitter. So think about those 3 questions. I'll say them again. Where would I like to direct other people's attention? What can I say that will add value to others? And who are 2 or more people that I can help connect to each other? I think if you do those three things, if you ask yourself those three questions when you're sitting down to write Twitter posts, it will make a big difference in what you do. I've developed a resource called 21 Days to Twitter Leadership. It's a book. You can download a free chapter at 21days2twitterleadership.com. You see it here on your screen. And I invite you to download a chapter of the book, see what it's all about, leave some comments and feedback on our blog, and let us know what you think. But it's a great resource. It takes you step by step from day one, from somebody that really knows nothing about Twitter, to 21 days later, having a following of people that recognize you as a leader in your industry, your business, or your niche. So go and download that book or just try out the free sample chapter. I'd love to have you do that. This is Joe Mark Witt for Folk Media. Talk to you next time.